Beware, this podcast is not a news or journalistic source for information. This is for entertainment purposes only, with solid viewpoints from two guys that are brutally honest about the things that you all are too scared to say or discuss. Please like and subscribe to our page for more engaging content. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Witts and Podcast. I am your host, Devon Witt, alongside my co-host, Joe the Show. And today, we're going to be talking about these crazy corporations. So Target, North Face, they're some of the newer brands that are starting to come under fire for their support of the LGBTQ plus community, which I looked at it and they've actually added a few since then.
So, a few what?
Like acronyms. So now you got
Two
Spirit.
LGBTQ plus. Oh, okay, I got you. Now you're talking like the plus I and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They've added to the acronym. So there's that.
Yeah,
But-
no.
But really the reason why I find this to be a very interesting story or subject to talk about is I feel like there's a lot to what corporations are doing as far as this kind of coordinated effort, in my opinion, to push this new thing, in the sense of, obviously transgender people have been around for a very long time, but this weird insanity that I feel like has taken over America of this needs to be our sole focus, and we need 145 calendar days a year to celebrate them, and they're oppressed.
The LGBTQ.
Yes. Yeah, so I looked at it. I'm not kidding you, Dad. It's 145 days.
I thought it was a month.
Yeah, one straight month, Pride Month, but they have 100.
Well, it's not a straight month now, is it?
No, it's not.
What's wrong?
Oh my gosh. Wow, that was good. But no. So they have 145 calendar days a year scheduled of all these different awareness and celebration days, and they still want to go around saying that they're oppressed. Kind of wild to me, but that's how I feel like, get to this point of someone like Budlight, which they've already been through the ringer, had to fire a lady for bad marketing, and now we're at this Target moment where, in case you aren't aware, so Target just recently has lost $9 billion in market capitalization over this LGBT Pride Month. It was like a showcase at the front of all of their stores, and it promoted kids' clothing, adult clothing, all for Pride Month. And what really got a lot of parents and people on the internet upset was that they had child swimwear outfits that were tuck friendly.
Yeah, I'm confused on that because, okay, if you transition, somebody could help me out this, wouldn't you not have anything to tuck?
In a perfect world, yes. But
I'm just saying,
I've heard a great theory on why men keep their penises after transitioning. And that's in case something goes wrong and they got to, parachute out and go back to being a man. They still have it, which totally makes sense. I mean, it may not work the same because you've been on estrogen or whatever.
I'm just saying, like they make these, okay, so you're the whole thing trans. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed here, but I would assume that derives from transition.
Yeah, something like that.
So if you're not fully transitioned, then I wouldn't say you're trans, but whatever. I'm sure I'm completely wrong on that. That's just
100%.
Because the straight white guy said it.
Look at Michelle Obama.
But there's nothing to look at.
Now, have you seen... Okay, so before we get into the Target thing, have you seen pictures of Michelle Obama when she's wearing a dress and the wind's blowing towards her?
No.
It looks like she has meat.
Well, then
the
maybe she needs this stuff to tuck it in. My whole thing is I don't understand where that came from. I understand where it came from, obviously, but if you're transition, you're whatever. I guess if you're in the middle of that, I don't know how hard it is, either keeping it or you're not. Why you need something to tuck it in, whatever. But however, I knew that was coming. The thing of it is, this is like Bud Light, though. The thing of it is with the Bud Light thing, it was taken out of context and out of proportion for what it was.
Relatively.
And this kind of what happened, although I will say I agree with some of the things that's happened here, is that clothing line was portrayed to be, this is for kids. Now, I fact checked that, and they've shown that it was not for kids.
It was in the kids section.
Yeah, that may have been that specific part. I didn't, but it wasn't for kids. Now, however, I agree with them stopping their sales, which I'll get into that in a minute. So, but no, they're very much under scrutiny, under fire for some of the things. But the thing of it is, I think honestly, I mean, I could sum up an hour worth of talking here, and it's because people sick of this crap.
And yes, and that's actually one of the things I really wanted to talk about. 100%. People are tired of it being thrown in their face every day of how we need to support people in the LGBT community. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not saying that they don't face issues or that they don't have problems, but let's not act like it's the entire world's problem. And what I mean by that is other stuff happens too, and we don't need to just be focusing on our lives.
I'll call it how I see it. The thing of it is, I'm not going to take away from the fact that there's people that have mental disabilities. I'm not going to take away from that.
Mental illness.
However, whenever you decide, I want to do boob job, do a transition, that's your freaking problem. So don't make your problem mine. Now, your mental status, that's a whole different ball game than me having to pay with my tax money your procedure.
Unless you're having to pay for their therapy.
Well, I mean, a lot of this is it depends on how you navigate through that. But a lot of that, they're bringing their freaking problem. Okay, you can't identify because you're a boy, you're a girl. Okay, I understand that. My problem is not you. Your problem should not be my problem. I'm not bringing you problems with my family, my kids, my dog died, my cat died. Although in comparison is night and day different. I get that. But my problems are not yours. So quit making yours mine.
The reason why it matters, in my opinion, the reason why this situation, the LGBT movement should be important to people is that it always starts innocent in the sense of, it started out as just, hey, clearly I look like a guy, my chromosomes show XY, and I've had testosterone going through my body for the last 20, 30 years, whatever. So, but please, for the sake of our relationship, call me she, her.
Well, I think you're right in the way that it starts, and if you don't squash it before it gets out of hand, because that's what's happened. This stuff hasn't got squashed before it gets out of hand. And so I was going to wait until later to kind of go down this road, and I'm sure I'll navigate back into it again. But that's why I agree with the stuff that happened at Target. If you look at what he did, let me look here. Quote, and this is from, let me pull back here, nationalreview.com. While Target does not sell, whatever this guy's name is, Abprellins, whatever, Satanist-inspired it doesn't sell their Satan-inspired products. The retail giant approached this guy less than a year ago to design pride-related merchandise, according to the brand's social media post. At one point, Target sold 3 of his items: a messenger bag, We Belong Everywhere, trans flag, colors of the planet, and a tote bag. So they only had 3 items. Now I'm going to stop there, jump into business. How businesses, I've consulted for many, and here's how it works. You take in a few SKUs, only a few. You don't take in a whole freaking product line. You take a few SKUs, test the market. If the market's successful, then you add more SKUs. It's business. It's how you freaking make money. And so this is why I'm glad they squashed this, because it might have been a couple of 2 or 3 innocent items, just pride related. But the problem of it is he has this whole satanic product line, amongst other things that I will discuss here in a minute, that if this product was successful, what would have stopped them from interjecting these other products down the road? Because that's what would happen. So see, that's the same thing, different way of getting there, but it's the same thing. It would have started with a few SKUs. It would have been bigger if it was successful. And then what? Now, the problem with it is people, now some of this stuff wasn't in the store, however, but here's this guy. These are quotes. So Satan loves you and respects who you are. You're important and valuable in the world, and you deserve to treat yourself with love and respect. Love and respect? Yeah, you should treat yourself with love and respect. LGBT plus, he forgot the Q, so go hate on him. Mm-hmm. People are so often referred to as being a product of Satan or going against God's will, which you are. That was my interjection there, not his. So fine, here's his quote. We'll hang with Satan instead. The company stated in another Instagram caption, Satanists don't actually believe in Satan. I go many places with that. Yeah. He is merely used as a symbol of passion, pride, and liberty. He means to you what you need him to mean. I'm going to come back to some of these. So for me, Satan is hope, compassion, equality, and love. So let's go back here. We'll go back to this is the guy that they're kicking out Target.
Yeah,
This is the focal point here of this conversation. So here's the things that we'll hang out with Satan instead. So you're freaking telling me as an LGBT community, you saw so hard. We'll take out what I believe is the biblical context. Let's use the terms that the LGBT community says. God is all obviously changed over time. Jesus has changed over time. And now the Bible is accepting, or Christians should be accepting the homosexuality lifestyle because the Bible has all these eternal or changed verses now because it's a different day and age. Quote me. That's wrong. That's wrong thinking or wrong theology or wrong doctrine, wrong. I could go on and on, but we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got into the churches. You've got hey, you're okay. You're there. But now you've got a guy that's coming out and say, we'll hang with Satan instead. This is a guy that's representing you.
Yeah, as a brand.
And you're okay with it, and you're pissed off because I say we, as what this is referred to, we'll get down that road in a minute. The left, the right didn't do this, or whatever. Probably got that backwards there. The Republicans, that's what they're going to blame it on, that did this. And so y'all want to be labeled as running with Satan. Okay, keep that. Now, you go down a little further. He means to you what you need him to mean. Well, I mean, I want him to be a freaking jackass. Does that make him a freaking donkey? I mean, that's what that statement means. Whatever you want it to be. Well, what if the freaking straight homophobe comes in and goes, well, Satan to me is I don't like all the homosexuals and I want them dead. So I want to be a Satanist now. That's what that statement just said. He can be whatever you want him to be. And on the premise of Satanism, now that's tolerated.
Well, how about you're
don't
literally
work.
practicing a religion that you don't believe in?
It's Satanism. Where the hell do you think it derived from?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So,
like, you don't believe in Satan, but you practice.
Here's even that blew me. Otherwise, so for me, Satan is his company. Hope, compassion, equality, and love. Take the biblical example. God. What is God? God is love. And now you want to sit here and try to turn it on Satan? Okay, dude, you have got this really screwed up. And believe me, I am just getting started on this freaking clown. But this is the stuff that this is the stuff the LGBT community wants in their stores.
Yeah. Well, this is
crap they're fighting for.
Yeah. And the saddest part to me is that, to me, what this does is it exposes, because you remember Balenciaga a couple months, 6 months back, whatever, how they got exposed for having little Satan tidbits inside of their pictures and stuff like that. And to me, what Target has done here is shown that they're not the only ones. And so it kind of makes me question, because I don't know about you, but I'll be scrolling through Twitter or whatever, and you see the videos of like Illuminati, how people are showing all these signs, like celebrities and politicians and stuff show these weird signs that show that they're in some secret organization or practicing Satanism. And it's like, you don't really want to believe it. But then stories like this come out where it's like, oh yeah, they actually hired a Satanist.
Well, it's there. I mean,
in charge of
look at this stuff. The quotes go on, and he does. I can give the dude props. He doesn't run from what he believes, which is better than most Christians do. But he further states here, being called a demon is something I can cope with, and the idea of trans demon is pretty damn cool. I mean, like, what do you say to that? Like, how? I mean, again, I props to the guy because he's what he believes, but. So anyway, he goes on, most of my work focuses on Gothic or dark and satanic imagery. Again, he's not.
Yeah, but he's not a Satanist. Come on.
With bright colors and LGBT plus positive messages. Okay, we'll say it's positive messages, but let's look at what some of those messages say. Because this is the guy that's he only has a few lines, but this is what his company has. A clothing design. One of the quotes on is "We bash back." Does that not promote violence? And you want this crap in the kids section, much less the adult section? We bash back. You look at the shirt; it's pretty much saying, we're going to basically bust your head in, just like you fight, we're going to fight back. It's the verbiage behind it. It enters what it says with a heart-shaped symbol with the trans flag colors. Transphobe collector with a skull. This is not literally... okay. And you're telling me that. Okay, this is the crap that the LGBT community, apparently don't want you to know is the way I take it, because you don't see the LGBT community bashing this guy saying, no, we're peaceful We're equality. I don't spell equality to me. That's freaking hate speech is what that crap is. Now, let's go a little further. The homophobic headrest. You know what that is? In here, it's a skull behind it's pastel, the colors. The guillotine. How are you not saying kill anybody that's homophobic?
I mean, that's what it definitely implies, the imagery.
The other one is time's up for transphobes. And here's I say the best one. Join my gay cult. This is the crap this guy has. So yeah, that's why I said from the 10 minutes ago is why we squash this crap when it's a small thing, because that crap could have easily got into the stores. I hope it never does. That guy should not be producing that stuff, especially the LGBT community more than anybody should be standing up against this stuff, because that's the guys representing you. Oh, you can get on the whole freaking rainbow thing. God loves us. God don't. Satan this, Satan that. But that's the guy that's representing you, that you all are pissed off because we kicked you out. I say we, but they kicked you out of Target. And this is the guy producing this type of garbage and crap that you want in the stores for our kids to see. And you wonder why this is such an issue, especially with me, but other people in this community, because this is the crap you're shoving down my throat and down my children's throat every damn day at school. And it's about half damn time somebody stood up and dealt with this stuff. And I'm glad this stuff is happening. It's not against a people of an LGBT community. It's against people standing up for the stuff that is just out and right wrong. I don't care what side of the race. I don't care what side of the gender. I don't care sexes. None of that. That is wrong. Threatening death to people.
Well, okay. My only pushback to that is he 100% should be allowed to sell it. But as a major company who distributes this to stores across the country, no, I'm not. I don't think that's the place for it. What I'm trying to say is that if he has an online shop, or if there's like specialty retailers out there, yeah, go for it. Make your money.
How can you promote? The question would be, how can you honestly say that you would promote him selling it? Because it's taunting. It's taunting. It's promoting, advertising the death of people. So how can you justify that? Because if we say something of hate, no, that's not freedom of speech. You impose saying, if I came in there and told a cop to his face, I'm going to kill you, that is a threat.
It is 100%. And if he says that, if he says those things, then that's a different story. But just having imagery on a shirt, in my opinion, because it's the same way, like if a kid wears a shirt to school that says there's only two genders, to someone from the trans community, that could be extremely upsetting, and like, oh, you don't want me to exist or whatever. And so it's like, where's that balance? Like, the kid's not saying it, it's just his shirt. He's just wearing a shirt that, in my opinion, freedom of expression, freedom of speech should allow you to be able to do those kinds of things. Now, where it crosses the line is when you're directly making threats to an individual. And because there's this hairy in-between balance in society where, yes, you have cults and they exist. And how do cults start? It's because of one crazy individual who usually wants to have a lot of sex with his members, gets in there, and you end up with this weird organization that grows until it hits that breaking point of, well, now they're harming society.
Right.
And I kind of feel the same way with this, is like, the dangerous side, or the thing that I don't want to happen, is because I always look at it as, okay, they're canceling him because he's saying, homophobe with a guillotine picture in the background, or whatever. Like, he's basically making this rhetoric that would show that he's against, or would like people to get hurt that are against the LGBT community. But that could easily be switched on me next week,
right?
Depending on what the next popular thing is.
You can't go around. You can't go around. The thing of it is, the other side of this too is they're standing up. They're supporting this. They're supporting that type of hate. Is what it is. So the straight people go out and said, basically all homophobes all homos should die. It's a slang term. It is what it is. Or all fags should die.
Or if you put that
all
on
queers
shirt.
should die. All LGBT, whatever word you want to throw in there, derogatory or not. I'm not trying to cast insult. I'm just using this for example. Then that's going to be, it's almost hate speech. You're going to be slammed for it. But the trans community does this, and it's okay. Now, to play into that just a little bit further, is we have a Gay Pride Month. Why not a Straight Person Month? Because there's reasons for this crap.
I saw on the internet, I can't remember which country it was, maybe Italy, I don't know, but I saw a country that, in response to Gay Pride Month, they made a celebrate family, like traditional family. I don't know, I can't remember the exact word for it, but to me, I was like, hey, why doesn't America have that? Like, if we can celebrate gays and black people and every other minority or group out there that exists, why can't we just celebrate the nuclear family? Like, hey, congrats to the mom and dads out there, or just dads or just moms who are raising a family.
Yeah, well, that's a minority for one, which you should be able to do that
Yeah.
because the minorities seem to get more than anything else. Yeah, I agree. And I'm not saying, and I would say I'm not trying to pull something out of the head like, oh, let's do a straight Pride Month. But it's the same thing with the race thing. We have Black Pride Month. Okay, great. What about White Pride Month? Nobody wants to say that crap. But the thing of it is don't sit here and push this equality crap and equal stuff on me whenever you're sitting here saying, oh, we need this, we need that. But whenever the other side of the sect does it, it doesn't matter if it's white, it doesn't matter if it's black, it doesn't matter if you're Irish, you're German, whatever. It doesn't matter the race. It's whenever the other side does, and all of a sudden it's a freaking problem. I know calmly because I'm the white guy, that's going to be the race that they're going to try to target here in this conversation. I get that, but it's the same thing. The LGBTQ, you know why that is so freaking long and it's always changing? Is because it's not, it's queer rights. Which ones? The lesbians? The gay? The trans? The bi? The inter-binary? Which freaking one? It's so gosh dang confusing. You don't even want equality. In a simple breakdown, if you wanted equality, you have to lump 20 freaking names into one because you don't even know what you are. I'm not trying to be mean and bash people, but it's so you think a straight person can freaking understand this whenever your own community, as your terms you use, these ain't my terms. You can't even figure it out.
And they change too. That's the other half.
It's
what could mean something today could mean something.
Yeah,
completely
it's
different
never
tomorrow.
good enough. That's what that breaks down to.
So to kind of get back to this target side of things, of where I feel like this really kind of plays into the world today and what makes this a really difficult spot to be in. It's easy to, yes, cancel the corporation. We're done shopping at Target. Goodbye. See ya. We'll just say they close all their doors. They go bankrupt. Target's gone.
Good.
You could view that as a win. But then the other thing you have to think about is every major corporation in the world right now, that's along with the WEF, are required to
was that like whatever F that means? Like nobody knows.
World Economic Forum.
Gotcha.
And the people who are into conspiracy theories know. But beyond that, so what I'm getting at is that these corporations are required to meet these obligations, such like diversity, equity, inclusion, ESG, things like that. So if they don't do it, then they don't get the funding from the banks and everything else. And so the problem,
to some degree.
So the problem that they face now is either comply with what you're being told to do and get the money and receive backlash from the public because you know that the public doesn't like this. Or don't do it, don't receive the funding, end up having to close your doors or your stock drops dramatically and you're
that might be with hiring certain people, and I don't even know how far that'd be a far stretch to say you have to hire a queer guy. But by carrying that merch, if Target wouldn't have put this in there, this wouldn't even be, it would have never even thought. Nobody's going to these places saying, you're not carrying LGBTQ products. What the hell's wrong with you? My issue with this is, and I guess I would defend the LGBTQ on this, is like, no, I don't know that I would. It's probably more saying the people are saying this is from, basically Republican side. Y'all are pushing this agenda, this homophobic. I don't really know if that's the case. I think this just got highlighted because, ironically, I seen this stuff like a week ago, whenever this was, and it's kind of like, okay, great, good for them, and more news. I didn't put a lot of stock into it or thought into it because I was like, I always know on the surface there's usually way more going on than what meets the eye, and sure enough, there was. However, I go into Walmart. This was just 2 days ago, and there's a whole freaking section. Now, it wasn't in the kids section.
And it's in the back of the store, not the front.
But they had this whole little line of, it was definitely, rainbow colored LGBTQ. So I'm like, if you're going to crap on Target, and Anheuser-Busch and all these other ones, is like, why not Walmart? Why not these other places? Now there's other places out there, stores that's designed specifically, like that's pretty much all they're going to see.
Yep.
Now, so I'm not saying, picking them and stuff like that, but in defense to the LGBTQ, community on this too, is I do not agree with one dang bit of how this stuff is being handled. People going into the stores and they're saying threaten employees. I'm sure that's happened, that's their whole purpose for
Right.
taking it down. I'm gonna give you all some education here. I'm gonna guarantee you. Target didn't take it down because you're threatening their employees. Target took them down because they lost freaking $10 billion.
Yeah. Yeah. It had nothing to do with employees.
They don't care about the guy. And most and people, we care. Man, most of the employees Target has. Hey, I'm gonna face it. It's just like Walmart. It's like anywhere else. They're working minimum wage, maybe $1 over minimum wage. They're doing it to survive. They don't want to work for you. I'm telling you right now, Target. They don't want to work for you. They're doing it because they have to find a job. Like that's just how. That's just
they
this is
don't
what it
wanna
is.
be-
They ain't making a career. It's not a career. It is a job. They ain't making a career off you. They ain't making a living. I guarantee you that.
They don't want to stock shelves.
So that theory is whatever. But going in and destroying displays, man, that is no different than crap that happened on it. And that's why this is such an issue too. Is saying, oh, this is from the right leaning or left leaning. Well, what was it whenever all this freaking BLM crap was going on? Oh, it's this side, and the Democrats are pushing it. The Republicans are firing back. Well, that's what's happening here. It's the same thing.
Those are called peaceful protests.
Well,
Okay.
and apparently that's what they're doing. They're peaceful teardowns of these display stands because they're destroying them. I don't agree with that. I don't
That's
agree with
domestic terrorism.
Well, but see, that's stupid. You say that, but what's funny about it? And I say stupid is there's actually people on there, well-known articles. Google it. That's saying they're domestic terrorists because they knocked down a freaking gay pride display. What about people burning down buildings, Molotov freaking crap, and cars, and whatever, and people obstructing traffic? What?
They were doing it for black people, number one, and number two, peaceful protests.
That's apparently the difference. And see, that's my problem with these things. If you've heard what I've said through these things, it's these distinct differences. It's like you can have your Pride Month. How come I can't have a straight month? You can have protests. It's okay, and you're killing people and freaking looting places and robbing places. That's okay. But now they freaking knock over a little display, a cardboard box, basically, or knock off some freaking clothes hangers, and you're freaking been out of shape and we're terrorists now?
I don't know why the FBI didn't get called to begin with.
They would have covered it up just like Twitter.
Right.
What are you going to do? Call in the president? He couldn't even freaking step out. He'd fall on his face. He'd be dead before he got there.
He'd fall on one of the displays.
Probably. They'd probably fall on something and land in his mouth or something. I don't know. They'd probably choke on something. I don't know. That was bad, especially what we're talking about.
No. So I guess the point that I'm trying to get at, I'll try to summarize a little bit more, is the point we're at in America, I feel like, is we're being taken down from within. I feel like there are people that are in power who control both the government and these private corporations that want you and me to be at our throats. Whether you're black, white, gay, straight, whatever. They want you and me against each other. And so if they can use these private corporations as kind of puppets or provocateurs to get you mad about Target or Bush, or whatever the culture war topic is, then we're distracted from real world events that are currently being had every day. And to take it a step further, what it also does is it strips you of your national identity, because if we take down all the Targets and we take down all the Budlights and North Face or whoever else, these big, powerful American brands, you're not left with a real national identity anymore. You got to come up with new stuff. And that's great in some ways, but in a lot of ways too, it can hurt how people feel about their country. They're ashamed of it. They don't like it anymore. And now it's a lot easier to take over without ever having to fire a gun. You've already done it because you hit the self-destruct mode on people within their heart. And that's kind of how I feel like what we're being pushed into, whether it's racism, culture war, whatever, we're slowly being pushed more and more into just stay home, don't interact with anybody because you might get into a fight about
I kind of look at it
leanings. And that's where, to me, this is so scary, is that it keeps going and going until we say stop. And it has to be all of us together for one goal rather than this kind of split factions, I feel like, of what America's become, because you're either a Democrat or a Republican, or a socialist or a social justice warrior, whatever. Like, there's all these categories, I feel like, and then you have the people who just don't care at all about anything. How do we get them to come together to unify and say, this is what we want as one? I think everyone can always agree it'd be nice if we had more money. It'd be better if we had free healthcare. And kind of these universal issues that no one wants to band up and team together. We'll go marching in the streets because a young black man died, or, this LGBT book got canceled, but we aren't willing to do it on the things that truly matter. Or at least I haven't seen it since the, what do they call it, the March on Wall Street or whatever, after the stock market crash in 2008. I think they were feeling some pressure then.
Yeah.
But since then, I can't say there's been anything for a real unified goal of America.
Some of this stuff, see, I look at it a little bit different. I think that, and it's probably kind of the same thing, it's just a different approach to it. I think a lot of this stuff is advertised, especially by the government and the media, is they let this crap happen, and then they're going to slap somebody hard with this. And what's going to happen? They're setting these examples like, oh, you bash a trans person? This is what's going to happen. And then, so as a byproduct, all these mega companies, big companies, are scared to stand up and do anything because of what happens. You know, like, and so, I mean, that's just one take on it, is they put this stuff in your mind, you know, like, and to train you the way they want you, is like, you can't say this, you can't do this, and if you do, this is going to happen.
Well, and it's kind of the same way of like now, before, you know, any company, whenever they were in trouble or if there was a controversial issue going on, they just stayed out of it. They just kept marketing what they've been marketing.
And that's what they should be
doing what they're doing. But then there came a certain point when people started saying, your silence is deafening.
But our government can't even freaking come to a deal hardly with a debt ceiling. And you're trying to get into racial affairs, sexual affairs, and you can't even deal with money. That don't work. You know, like they're freaking incompetent is what it is. You know, and so, you know, now the incompetency comes into play because it depends whose office, what their agenda is. And I'm going to tell you, I'll say it for whatever it's race or whether it's sex, whatever. They're going to tell the people, black people, whether he be Hispanic, it doesn't matter. They're going to tell you what they want you to hear to get your votes. And after that, you're done. And it's the same thing with the gay pride. Biden's going to ride this until after the election. And after that, it's done. You're not going to deal with him again. It doesn't matter if you want him again. He is done. He's not becoming a president again. So the next guy in line, yeah, you might get another Democrat, but hey, the tables are going to change. And that's why there's the House and the Senate is Republican, because people got sick of it. They put him in there. Let's give the Democrats a chance again. And America as a whole said that was a mistake in aspects. And so they got a Republican ran Senate and House. And that president is pretty much, I mean, he's power, but he's pretty much powerless.
I mean, in some ways, I mean, no matter what, you still have to be careful because he is the president. And so really, I guess where I would go with it is the reality of it is that what we're experiencing right now, whether it's woke corporations, or this culture of you need to shut up if you're not going to be polite and live in each individual's reality rather than just reality. That to me is the real harm and the real scare here is that slowly, bit by bit, they're taking away freedom of speech. They keep targeting AR-15s for some reason because they call it a weapon of war. Do you know anybody in the military right now that uses an AR-15?
No, AR-15s are not used. They are used 0% in the military. All branches do not use AR-15s.
And why do you think that is? Because they're semi-automatic?
Yeah, they use M16s.
Yeah.
Not AR-15s.
So they use fully automatic.
Yeah, 3-round bursts, but yeah.
So, I mean, either way, the point that I'm making here is that to call it a weapon of war,
it's not a weapon of war.
Who
it
protects is American citizens who want to protect themselves from a tyrannical government if necessary,
right?
Or who want to go to a shooting range and have some fun and blow shit up, whatever. Yeah. That's who the AR-15 is made for, and self-defense if necessary. So for any government to come in and try and say, like, hey, we're going to take this one away because it's too dangerous, to me
it's a play on words. It's a trick to ignorant people that don't educate themselves on what guns are. Because I'll tell you, here's a weapon of war. Remington 700, 308. But guess what? It's also for? It's a bolt action gun. You hold 3 to 4 rounds. It's a hunting rifle. People use 308s all the time. But yet, snipers use it, I say daily, but numerous times to kill people. But yet, you don't see people coming after that. You know why? Because nobody shut up a building. So you take AR-15s, and you can strip every AR-15 off the face of this planet. You know what they're going to do? They'll kill you with a shotgun. They'll kill you with a pistol. They'll kill you with a brick.
I mean,
they'll find a way.
The other part two that always concerns me anytime because in a lot of these conversations, lack of education, number one, seems to always be at the forefront. But then there's the other half, which in my opinion is like the malicious side, where they say who it should be used for. And they say the military and trained police departments.
What trained police departments?
Right.
I've already done that episode 2 or 3 times. They ain't freaking trained. They ain't more trained to do that crap either. These cops are not trained in continuous force, deadly force. No, if they got to, whatever. No, the only thing that their cleat certification is I'm gonna say been there, done that. I haven't, to be fair, but it is not extensive enough. There is no freaking way. If that is the case, then these would not be. Qualified immunity explains it. If you're so damn good and trained, then get rid of your qualified immunity.
Well, but the point that I guess I'm trying to make is that they're saying it's okay for us to use against you if we need to, because you're a domestic terrorist or whatever, but you should not have this gun to defend yourself from us, which is literally what the Second Amendment was made for. It wasn't made to protect me from you, although if you do something crazy, I can defend myself from you.
Yeah.
It was made to stop the government from becoming a tyranny, and the best way to do that is with guns.
Well, I don't know that we're ever going to get to a World War III where it's going to be a government overthrow. I sure as heck hope not.
Because they're doing this. You won't see it fit like bullets being shot. If right now
it's
everything
cyber warfare.
Yeah, right now everything it's information warfare and information overload. So, like for instance, I know that not everything I see on the internet is accurate or telling 100% of the story. So the world we live in today is you kind of have to take piece by piece by piece from different sources, different people, different ideas, and then kind of come up with your own, because there isn't any kind of like history book that's going to show you, okay, in 1776, America separated from Britain. Here's what happened leading up to that, and it's going to include everything that you would or should know to truly understand the topic.
Right.
And that's just kind of how it is now. It's like instead of giving people just the truth and nothing but the truth, it's biased. So if I'm watching Fox News, I'm going to get this half where Joe Biden trips, on the sandbag at the Air Force ceremony. Or if I'm watching CNN, I'm seeing this like green screen version of seeing some guy put the sandbag there right before that made him trip. So it's like it's these alternate versions of reality, and there isn't enough people out there that are woke or awake to be able to understand that you're being lied to, you're being played and manipulated by both sides.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think it's going to be fought with bullets. I think they're just going to have to manipulate you enough and make you malleable and docile, rather than have to physically go out and fight you.
Well, I don't know why this is common. Didn't he say, now, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but after the president fell, didn't he say like, I was sandbag? Like, didn't he say that?
I don't know. I hope he did.
I think he did. And give me a minute. I'm going to Google this. I got to look. I got an Urban Dictionary of this one.
Right, well,
I may not read it. I'm afraid of what might come up here. I don't know why.
No, there's a bunch of great videos out there and like adaptations of him falling that crack me up. Like one of the best ones I saw was this picture of, it's like Joe Rogan holding a mic up to his face.
Yeah, we're not reading that. Skip that one.
What's going on there?
Nothing that I'm going to air on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. But if the president was sandbagged, poor guy.
Oh, you're saying like what the definition of sandbag is?
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. Well, come on, let's hear it. Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not something that I think that I should be advertising, especially if there's kids listening.
Right, let's bleep it out.
No, you can't bleep this out.
You can just
like
bleep. Bleep
no.
Instead of.
I can't. There's not even a way I can get around this. Let me say, an act in which two people are having sex on a beach in the middle. I can't. No, I'm not. I'm not doing it on here. No, just if you want to know, you can look it up. It's common knowledge. It's not common knowledge. It's out there. I'm not going to the sake of, I try to my best. I get fired up and I say things I shouldn't, but no, I'm not going down that road. I'm not going to, because once I open that door, then it's like not stopping the next time. No, I've tried to at least keep it PG-13
as much as you can.
And plus I'm sitting here literally, disgusted by some of these things that's happening and stuff like that. So I'm not going to get in and play. I'm not going to play their game. No, I'm not going to play that game with these people.
No. So the last thing too, I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this. So,
Great.
Did you listen to that #1 song about Target at all?
No, I haven't. Should I?
I don't know how it made #1, and this may be a hot take, but I don't feel like he's that good of a singer, rapper. I don't know exactly what you would call him.
It's obviously not, because I haven't heard of it. So what's the guy's name?
I don't even remember. I didn't write it down. He looks like...
Let's see, Target. Let's see, Google this.
Yeah, #1 song, Target.
Target song. I'll just put Target
There we
song.
go.
Aloza Alexander? Oh, no, okay.
Does he have tats on his face?
No, I don't know. It's something. Is this a black guy?
No, he's white.
Okay, that's not him. That's boycotting Target song. That's probably at YouTube.
That's got to be it.
Okay, this is a...
Oh, it's an ad probably because he's clicked on YouTube. You know how they do, yeah.
Look at this guy's shirt. It's like LGBT, liberty, guns, the Bible, and truth.
I guess. No, I don't know. Let me see.
It's not him. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
going to sit here and waste people's time.
Either
trying to
way,
find it,
look, guys, the point of it is, yes, I feel like this song should show you how volatile and viral culture war material can make you.
it says he's shadow banned.
Oh, I'm sure.
If Fargout blow, what? I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is something kind of strange.
Well, it says
Blow is, I know, in his name.
boycott Target song over trailer's LGBTQ agenda top iTunes, but rapper still claims he's shadow banned.
Right. I mean, he doesn't have
From
enough
a
clout.
credible news is NewYorkPost.com.
Yeah. Oh man, the New York Post is very reliable. But no. So I just the reason why I wanted to bring that up though is because it's strange to me that you could suck at singing, or I mean, I don't know, maybe he has other great songs. I can't say I've looked at his discography, but I'm just saying based on that one, nah, man.
Have you
that
listened
ain't
to this?
it.
Have you listened to the song?
Yes.
Trying to find the lyrics.
And I wasn't super impressed. It didn't really hit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. But I just didn't see how it could make #1 on iTunes over someone like Taylor Swift, like T Swizzle. We're picking this guy over Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the lyrics in it, I don't know that they're actually that good. I mean, it's kind of promoting. It's kind of hateful. I mean, they put a target on your back, but they're targeting your kids. They don't even need to ask because y'all know what it is. Yeah, that's why I keep a strap. Hopefully y'all can know what that is. And I'm going about my biz. This agenda got to stop. And you know we're going to win. And I mean, it's kind of like...
That is not. Okay, so how long do you think it took him to make this song?
I don't know. This is kind of funny. Okay, you know the LGBTQ, they went too far. You know they cutting these kids. They leaving trannies with scars. Why they pushing agenda promoting sexual genders? I'm only rocking with Bruce. Don't rock with no Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is taking it. There's more lyrics. They're kind of funny.
No, keep reading. Keep reading.
Okay, so you think that gay shit don't get you paid? Yeah, we're gonna see. It's Mar-a-Lago 2024. We be trumping, baby. I can't say I could sing it, but I probably would do a better job than this guy. Yeah. And I'm trying to decipher a different language here to some degree. They put a target on your back, but they're trying to target you. Yeah, we already read that part.
There's the chorus.
Yeah, so he's got that part. We need to clean up on every aisle inside this store. Satan resides. Wash it with the blood of Christ. It needs here, so don't think twice. I don't know. It kind of goes from killing people to talking about Jesus. Dating with a Satanist. We all know this is the end. God is coming for revenge. Target is targeting our kids. They put it, he went back.
Yeah, well, look,
some of the lyrics are funny,
not...
but I don't know that I would. It's still,
is that #1?
Well, because of the topic. But the thing of it is, to be fair to it, is even though as I would sit here and say, funny as it may be, reading through some of the lyrics, I don't agree with setting her hate speech and, oh, Jesus. But then on top of that, I literally just 20 minutes ago sat there and crapped on the LGBTQ community and the way that these people are handled certain, events. And then I've also sat here and crap talked on people about the way they're, protesting this or tearing down displays. So no, I can't sit here and back the guy for basically saying I'm strapped, carrying a gun kill you. It's promoting that. And I just really knocked the Satanist for saying that too. You know, he's a Satanist and he has his own world of whatever Satanist.
Well, it's called art.
I don't know what Satanism now. I'm confused.
So,
and I got a degree in biblical and Christian studies.
No, I guess the only point I just wanted to make there was like that should show you how stupid culture war is that you can go number one on the charts for music if you just talk about a crazy talk.
It's whatever.
Now, if it only took him like 30 minutes or something to write that too, like that would blow my mind even more. Like, oh my gosh, dude,
I don't know, man. People capitalize on stupid crap, you know, like Budlight, man. Coors hopped right on that train. Like, we'll get these sales.
And what's crazy is I was reading this report that said they're most likely going to keep all of the market cap that they've gained.
Man. Like people.
And the reason why I say that is because how much of a difference is there really between Coors Light and Bud Light? Not much.
Oh, bull, man, that's totally different.
I don't feel like it is.
Oh no, man, Coors. And I'm not knocking the Coors. I guess I am not. I don't like that stuff. It's just I don't know, man.
They're about the same.
It makes me feel bloated. I'm already bloated enough. I don't need anything else that makes me feel that way. It hurts my physique and my feelings. No, I don't know. I don't care for it.
No, I don't know. I feel like whoever made that statement is probably right because it is like, is it worth the switching cost?
Well,
do you want to go back to the queer beer?
The beer companies are different than Target. Target's different than some little guy out of England or London or wherever he has his camp at. I say camp because he's a cult. He wants a cult. It's camps in concentration camp, I guess. I don't know whatever they call cultic stuff. You know, forgive me if I'm wrong.
They're called compounds.
But there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry. It's concentration. Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said. That's definitely not in the right context. Either way, no. So I mean, you got all these three different things going on. You know,
Well, the last thing I
don't
guess.
know. It's messed up.
Before we wrap this up, I'm just gonna say I know you said it earlier. This is not far right boycotting, and because I feel like there's plenty of people in the middle and on the left that supported this too.
Well, I do, but I don't think the LGBTQ is all over this either. There's some people out there fussing about it, but I really honestly don't think all of them's like, oh, we're gonna back this because they took away our colors.
Well, what I'm saying is calling boycotts from the far right or basically anything derogatory towards what I would say is like mainstream narratives or agendas isn't far right. It's just people pushing back. Now, it's different like if you're at a MAGA Trump rally. Yeah, okay, those are probably a lot of far-right people there. And so to me, that's not so much of a generalization. But to just try and label something immediately as, oh, that's far-right or that's far-left, they don't ever use the terms far-left.
I know.
Very often.
And the thing of it is what blows my mind. I can't even get a manifesto from a kid that shut up at school, and they want to tell me the manifesto of the agenda here.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, because I know, no, it's not the same, but yet again, in my mind, in my little pea brain, it is the same because you're so quickly to label people that, oh, did I say that? Yeah, because that's the problem with the LGBTQ no, not the LGBTQ. I said that wrong too. The other side, we label you wrong. How quickly were we labeled in this?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Did I not say that crap at the beginning of this? That is the problem with this. And here we are again. Same thing. The problem with this stuff is it's like you can say what you want, but then the opposite side does something. You can't do that. That's hate speech.
Yeah, it's too far.
How quickly the thing they don't like, the equality, don't label us this. We're tired of being labeled. What did you just do? Here we are again. Yeah, hypocrites, what I call that.
The world is messy, okay? And by the way, little side note before we check out of here. The North Face commercial, I don't know if you had a chance to see it.
No.
Okay, well,
it crap.
Could have been one of the worst commercials I've ever seen in the sense of like it felt so heavily produced that it was like they were trying so hard to like push this Pride Month thing that I feel like even if I was like gay, I'd kind of be cringing watching that because I'm like, that is so over the top. Mm-hmm. It's definitely worth watching. I don't know if you have 30 seconds on your phone to just type that into Google or YouTube. I mean, I found it on Twitter several times.
Everything was on Twitter.
I know, man.
No, I don't have time to watch it. I don't care to watch it. I'm so sick of it. I see this crap. It's in your face all the time. I don't need to look for it. I already had to research this for the podcast and everything else. Like, no, I'm not looking for it. And because I know, mark my words, America. We'll be back to this topic again because it's going to come up again.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to be a topic of some right wing Democrat that does something. Something's going to get protested. Something's going to happen, and then here we are again, another uprising from the LGBTQ plus, whatever, all top of the stuff that's on there, and then we're going to be in this conversation again because it's going to be headline news for the government trying to hide something from you.
Well, and we'll be here to discuss it. So thank you all so much for watching and paying attention to us. I can't tell you enough how much I've appreciated the people who have reached out to me and talked to me about the show. Those words of encouragement help.
What about the words of hate?
The haters going to hate. Just kidding. But with that, though, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great night.